to collect these 2 marks. Okay, solve for x and y simultaneously. So I'm just gonna write my simultaneous equations that side, and then we'll take it from there. Remember, to solve for simultaneous, we need to first name our equation. So this is x plus 3y is equals to 2. Let's put it on the board. So this is a simultaneous equation, and this is 1.3. I think this is 1.3 or 1.2. Oh, it's 1.2. So we are given x plus 3y, and this is equated to 2. So I'm going to call this my equation 1. Then the next one that we have is x squared minus 3xy. Let's equate this to 4, and this is equation 2. I'm just gonna go back and verify if everything is right, because this is what you need to do also when you are on your exam room, because you can't waste time solving a wrong equation. You copy the wrong equation on your answer sheet. So now I can see everything, it's good. Let's go back and solve. So you're going to check between these two equations which one is the linear one, equation 1. Then you're going to make one variable the subject of the formula, and I can see that it's easy to make x, so I'll take the 3y to the other side to be negative. So this tells me that equation 1, I can write that as x is equals to 2 minus 3y, and we're going to call this equation 3. So now we know what is x. What can you do? You take this value of x, you substitute it back on equation 2. Where there's x on equation 2, we need to put 2 minus 3y. So let's quickly work on that. So where there's x, I have x squared minus 3xy, it's equals to 4. This is my equation 2. So I'm just gonna indicate where there's x. This has to be 2 minus 3y. This x has to be that 2 minus 3y. Let's quickly work on that. Let's substitute everything there. So this will be 2 minus 3y, and this is squared minus 3. Inside the bracket, I need to put 2. What is this? Okay, I'm going to make this more simple, because I know that first thing first, I can multiply the 3 with that y. This will be 3y. Then I open the bracket and put my 2 minus 3y, so that I can just multiply out the bracket with that 3y. Imagine you multiply out the bracket with 3, then when you are done, you're going to multiply out the bracket again with y. You see that there will be some, maybe you might make a mistake somewhere somehow. So now when I have it like this, I can just solve for y. So let's first expand this guy here, 2 minus 3y. This is, oh, we are expanding that, so this will be 2 minus 3y minus 3y into 2 minus 3y, it's equals to 4. So I'll try by all means that we move step by step on this one. So let's multiply out the bracket. So when we multiply out the bracket, this 2, it's 4. Then we need to multiply this 2 again with what? With the minus 3. Then you take this, you multiply, then again we multiply that with minus 3. Let's quickly work on that. Okay, so now 2 times 2 is 4. This gives me 4. And then I'm going to have 2 times minus 3y, which is 6. Then I will add that to 2 times minus 3y again, which gives us minus 6y. So I need you to pause minus 12y. I need you to pause the lesson, do your FOIL method, and verify if this is right. So this will be minus 2y. Then now we're going to say minus 3y multiplied by minus 3y, which is positive 9y squared. Then now we need to multiply out the bracket. But guys, it's very important for you to understand that when you multiply the bracket, we also consider that sign. So you're going to multiply with what? You're going to multiply there with the negative 3y. I hope you guys are happy with that. We multiply with minus 3y, not only 3y, but we also consider the sign. So this will be minus 3y multiplied by 2, which gives us minus 6y. Then I'll have minus 3y times minus 3y, which gives us positive 9 squared. 9y squared, it's equals to 4. So do we have the like terms here? Do we have the like terms? Remember, how do we see the like terms? The one that has the same variable and the same degrees. So this is y, which is to the power 1, and this is also y, which is to the power 1. So these two guys will be the like terms. So when I say minus 12y and minus 6y, this will give me a negative 18y. Then now the 9 and that 9, they are also the like terms because they both have y squared, y squared. When we add them, since the sign are the same, this will be 18y squared. Now, what about the 4 and the 4? So look at this. The 4 and the 4, they are in different signs and they have same signs. So the 4 can come this other side to be negative 4, which will cancel that 4. So this 4 and that 4 will cancel each other because the 4 will go to the other side to be negative to subtract that other 4. So now let's currently write down what we only left with when we add the like terms. So we're going to say we have that 18y squared. So this is my 18y squared, and then we need to subtract 18y and equate this to 0. I think now you guys understand what happened to that, to the 4s. They cancel each other. So how can we factorize this? We can take y as a common factor, but the factor is not just y, it's 18y. So I can take the 18y as a common factor, then I have this as y minus 1. Right, y minus 1 is equal to 0. To solve for x, remember we are multiplying two terms. I can say 18y is equal to 0, or y minus 1 is equal to 0. Therefore, what is the value of y this side? Divide both sides by 18. We have y to be 0, or the value of y is equals to 1. This is our values. The value of y as 0 and the value of y as positive 1. How can we find the corresponding y values? Remember, we already know the corresponding x values. We need to find the corresponding x values, and we already know that x is equals to 2 minus 3y. Where there's y, we can substitute y to be 0, and remember the value of y, the other value of y was 1. Let's quickly go and verify. Y is 0 and y is 1. So we're going to use those y values to find the corresponding x value. I'll start with y to be 0. So my x will be 2 minus 3 into 0. This will just give us x to be just 2. Then we need to do the same and say x is equals to 2 minus 3y. This will be 2 minus 3 into 1. And what is that equals to? 2 minus 3 is just minus 1. So the value of x will be minus 1. So this tells us that if the value of y is 0, the value of x will be 2. And if the value of y is 1, the value of x will be minus 1. And that's it for this one. I'm sorry, I think on the previous question we forgot to indicate the mark allocations. Now I think we forgot to indicate the mark allocations, but now when it comes to simultaneous equation, the most important thing, first thing first, to make equation 3, there's a mark for that, and to substitute this correctly on that equation 3, there's also a mark. So far you'll have 6 marks. Now, so most of the time when I still remember this, they also mark the standard form. when I say the standard form, the quadratic standard form, if you can manage to get to that step, there's another mark. And then both of these values, the x and y, there's also a mark. There's one mark for both of these values. There's one mark for that. And then there will be another one mark for both y values, the x values. There will be one mark. Let's count how many marks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where is the other? Where is the last mark? Oh, the factors, for taking out the common factor, because this is what they call it, the method. So for taking out the factor, there's another mark. And that's it for this problem. Let's see what we have on the next one.